It is warm today. You're always really eager to get out. Lovely place called Shelling Hill. Water's pretty calm inside, but I'd say about a mile out it's getting a bit choppy. We're going about a mile out, mile and a half out today. Just quickly show you my kayak, if you can see it. So I've got my Humminbird fish finder, I've got my GoPro, I've got my GPS, and my phone does sit here as well if I want to do a bit of Netflix, but I'm not doing that today. To the right here I've got a rod rest, just to put my rod on. I have a butt one there as well, and I've opted for this type of finder, so you can put the transducer down in the water, but when you're going at speed you can just bring it up. Centerpiece, good sharp knife, they're all lasted down obviously. Nice hook, hopefully won't need that today. Set of pliers and set of cutters just in case. All of those are very important, all tie down, don't want to lose any of those. I have a spare set of pliers in the back just in case. And here, just keeping my weights. Nice seat with a bit of a back on it, keep me nice and supported. A couple of rod rests which I'll tilt down once we're out fishing. My anchor and my bait well. Bait well is just a dog food box which I've adapted, put a couple of rod holders on it, a couple of handles on it, and a little plug there to let some water out. Business end, I'm using two lock tamers. Dave Lom, anyone knows pike fishing will know those. 10-foot lock tamers, I've always used those. I've had fish over 60 pound on those. My C, it's been that long since I've used these, 7001 I believe. Reels, love the drag on these when the Tope take it. On the business end, a couple of 8.0, maybe 10.0 hooks, circle hooks, great for self hooking. I used to make my own rigs, but now I actually get them pre-made, and they're far better than what I can make. Really good for the boat, especially the kayak. There's no swivel holding these on, so we're going on to nylon. I'd say it's about 150 pound. But I buy them rigs now bought in. And there's a great guy over in England who makes them. I'll put a link in the show notes so you can check that out. And if you're ever thinking about doing it, you can place them a few orders, I suppose. And that's really it. That's the kayak. Just ready to go in its supremacy. She is the business machine. I've had that kayak since 2012. I used to have a 16-foot. Jesus, it's been that long since I've been away from all this, can't even remember half the stuff. But I've had that boat now, kayak now, for 10, 11 years. Fantastic, no expense to it at all. I can still get out to one of my favourite Tope spots, about a mile and a half off from here, super safe. Key thing of safety is I've got a good dry suit. Dry suit is the expensive bit, it cost me like 700 quid. I am going to wear it a top down today, which is what you should do, but a good palm dry suit, especially if you're going pike fishing in the winter, you can't go without that. What have I got here? My H2O Kikora wetsuit, life vest. I actually nearly forgot this today, so I actually had to go back 4 or 5 miles to get it. There are bits of kit that if I forget I would go out with. That is definitely not one of them. Right, let's get on the water and see how we get on. Well, a bit of effort to get the kit ready. Just before I go out into the water, there are 3 items that I will not go out with, which I'm just going to reiterate. Number 1 is the life jacket. Not a mission. You should never go in the water even 100 meters out without your life jacket. Anything can happen. I'm going out a mile and a half. So I've got my VHF radio. It's in here in my jacket, sealed. It's on, locked into station 16, so I can listen, and it gives me a little bit of company. You can actually call the local Coast Guard, tell them you're going out and tell them you're coming back in. Again, I've never done that. I've never felt the need to, but the option is there. Mobile phone is the next one. Never go out with a mobile phone. I've got 2, just in case. You drop one over, you might need help. The mobile phones now actually work pretty well in the water, which is really good. But I've got one in a sealed unit, my iPhone 12, my old iPhone, which is goes going to go into my life jacket as well. Last but not least, my GPS. I like to have my GPS. If I do need help, anything happens, I can call in my coordinates. Mobile phones are good for that, and I've also got my Garmin watch on. Fingers crossed, I've never needed anything to do with that, but being prepared takes away any anxiety. Being a mountain guide and an ocean goer, I'm well attuned to the weather conditions. Hence, what you see here is flat, calm conditions. So I know the weather, I know the tide, I know the strength of the tide, I know that the wind's coming off the land, it's decreasing as the day goes on, it's only going to get calmer. Right now it's perfect, so it can only get better. Fingers crossed we get some mackerel. Let's go and get these bad boys. So as you can see, weather predictions were perfect. It has gone like a mirror out here. We're about about a mile and a half offshore. We came out on the flood, so we're only going about 3 miles an hour, so it took us half an hour to get here. Mackerel have been scarce. Got about 7 in the pot here, which I think I'm going to move to see whether or not I can find a few tope. Normally you get them within the first hour. I like to move after that. You can't sit it out. Sometimes you're lucky you get 1 or 2 moving in, but it's nice when you drop the bait down on the first cast and boom, you get a run. You know you're into a pack of fish then. Which is generally what happens. So you really want to land on them. Anyway, take a look at this. Beautiful. So this is our second time out for the tope this year. Last time the tide was totally wrong. Slack water is 6 o'clock in the morning, time now is 5:30. Absolutely gorgeous weather, perfect conditions. As you can see behind me, the sun is just rising. I'm going to get out on our mark just for slack water and we'll get 6 hours of the flood. Really excited today, really expect to catch a few fish. But more importantly, take a look at that. Absolutely sublime. Hey Dan. So no bites yet. This is just the second cast now in this spot. The tide is flooding, the time is 8:15, so about 2 hours of flood. And this is my second cast here, so I'm going to leave it in for 20 minutes and then I'll give it a recast. If I don't get anything then, by 9 o'clock I'm going to move. The creel boats are sitting right on top of my mark, so hopefully they bring them in, reshoot the pots, and I can go over onto my hot spot where I catch most of the fish. But this is the exact spot where I caught 8 last time, but I just like sitting right next to Castle Rocks. I'm a little bit off it at the minute. Tide, it's a bit of a neap tide, so there's not much tide flooding. It's very negative talk, that, isn't it? So this is how I catch the mackerel anyway. 5 hooks on a weight. Don't need to overexert yourself. Just let it go down to the bottom. Tip the rod like that, and boom, in you are. It's just like little gentle. It's always hard to get a good steady stream of mackerel whilst getting a steady stream of bites. It's normally one or the other, so it can be frustrating. But plenty of mackerel here anyway. I'm gonna get a few in stock up for pike fishing, not that far away. August was 6 weeks. I'll give it a bit of a rattle this year. Done well the last couple of years. Feed 20s, mid-20s. Hard to beat mackerel. The cost of mackerel at the minute, or any type of fish really, if you're going pike fishing. Oh, I'd love it if that boat disappeared. I really would. He was right on top of my mark there. I'll give it to 9 o'clock and I'll move on over, because then I'll have half the tide. So it'll be like fishing half the tide here and then moving over, fishing half the tide on the other hot spot. For me, the key with tope is movement. You need to move about. You know, you're looking for a pack of tope. There could be some big fish around middle of August, but you really want to land on one. If you don't get anything within an hour, move location. Sometimes it only takes 300 or 400 meters. Just move location, try something new, lift your confidence up. Confidence is always a big thing when you're fishing. You're confident you're going to catch something you normally do. But look at that, conditions are perfect. Let's pray. Let's pray we get a couple a day. Come on, Tope! Catch mackerel all day long. We're not after mackerel. You can actually see them chasing the feathers up there. Just drop right down the bottom, reel it off about 6 feet. And then quite a bit of action in this tip. This rod is a Severin. Real sturdy rod. I've had this rod now, don't know, 12 years. As good as Dave's got it. Caught a lot of tope off it, caught a lot of thornbacks. Really is a go-to rod. Bit of tip action on it. A friend of mine caught a big skate on this. Here comes the crab boat now to reset his pots. Just hope he doesn't wipe me out. Thought he was going to go away there, but looks like he's coming back. Shoot back over the top. Annoying that. Expanse of the sea, you get right onto your mark, and there's a line of crab pots there. To be fair, they're making a living, but just a bit frustrating. Just moved, it's lifted all of the pots. I'm sure it's going to come back. But I'm right over the top of the mark now, so the mark that I wanted to fish. So what I'm going to do is drop the anchor, grab it with a chain. Anybody doesn't know the anchor system on kayak? So I've got on this pulley wheel, so we can let off as much rope as we want. We're in about 25 foot. The side I've got a pulley. I don't know if you can see that or not. And what we do is pulley that to the stern of the kayak, because then the kayak's going to turn around into the current. Bang on the mark. I'm just going to get 2 baits ready. Good job, I have plenty. A couple of flappers. Cut it on the chopping board so you don't slice your hand open. There you can see. Lovely flapper to You just cut the tail off, right the way down the spine of the fish, cut off the spine. You got a lovely little flap. As you can see, kayaks swinging round to the tide. Cut 2 of them. Very important, you put everything back. Knife back in the sheath, very important. You don't want to get a run and get overexcited. Right on the money spot now, so bang on. Let's see. Whilst we've got no pots around us at all, which is great. Let's see if we can't. Bang on. Pulled a lot of tope off this mark here, a lot. Bit of a sore leg. So ratchet on. We're now fishing with that rod. Rod was bouncing. Come on, boys. Bang on. So we're in the middle, 9 o'clock, we're in the middle of the tide, nearly. Just not halfway in yet. Got fresh mackerel, got great rigs on, right on the mark, our hotspot marks. They're either here or they're not here.